You guys think about this for a couple minutes, see what we can come up with.
It's just adding 2 trees. There's
All right, what do you guys think? How many trees will be in figure 15?
15? I thought said 1.5.
Not one, no, 15.
31.
So far, I've heard 4, 21,
Hey, don't put that up.
31. I'll toss it. Never heard you have it up there.
21.
I've got 31 up there as the option.
yeah,
30?
It's 31.
Oh, you really put 21 up there?
I put it up there.
31 seconds.
That's okay. Sometimes blind guess is our only choice.
Oh, 31's already up there.
31's up there. 30's up there. 30.5. I don't know how we're going to get half a tree. Okay, so we've got some ideas. How did you figure that? Yeah, so we've got 3 trees here. These 3 trees tend to just kind of stay. They're hanging out. And then I've got 2 more trees, so we added 2 here. And they're still here. And then we added 2 more here. So if it's changing by 2 each time, we know that that's going to be kind of a linear thing. So we could just draw them all out. Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. If I asked you for figure 150, that would make a very long list that we had to fill in to get between now and then. Did anybody write an equation? It's not going to be 15 times 2, though. What would we need to do for an equation? I can think of 2 off the top of my head that we could have had for here. Because we do have a set of, what are you doing? We do have a set of 2 in this first term. So it could be that I notice we started with 2. And we do 15 times 2. But what did we forget? That little guy over here, this 1, he's still hanging out. So we could write that as 15 times 2 plus 1. Or you could go, well, we started with 3, and in figure 2, we started with this adding 2. So you could take our figure number, you could do that as number times 2 plus 1. Or if we're coming down here, you could do, well, when we got here, we did this thing times 2. And this could be n minus 1 plus 3. That's the other one I see, is n minus 1 plus 3. So it's just a matter of trying to recognize a pattern. When we do this, I want us to start working towards trying to find an equation for it, because we are going to have things like this where we're going to have to solve them and find solutions, looking at these patterns. So we're going to start to see these pop up at the beginning of the day, because the patterned one we kind of struggled with on the test. So we're going to just keep bringing that back and hitting that over and over again. So we're going to start trying to notice these patterns, trying to write equations for the patterns so that we can solve them. Okay? So I got 31. 31 should have been your answer. Just to finally nail that down, 31 should be your answer. But we're going to keep practicing with those. What's up? Yeah, because it had an extra 1 here. So there's 2 here, 2, 4, and then we added 1. 2, 4, 6, added 1. Okay, because it was changing by 2 each time. So we'd figure out how it's changing, and then we figure out what it started with. What's up? What's up? Yep.
So like, say if they always want us to like figure out like what's gonna be the next figure, right? Say if it's like figure.
Yeah.
I could always do that, like how you did the first equation, the 15 times 2 plus 1. If I
I was gonna say, if we figure out the pattern, I could then take whatever figure number I want, put it in front. I could do 15, I could do 27, I could do 348. So if we figure out the equation, how it's working, I can substitute in whatever the heck I want.
I got a question.
What's up?
So if I get something set up, something like this, what if it start with 3 and then it add like 4? About 4 for each one?
We would multiply 4 for each one. If we all, whenever we do this, we're gonna start to notice how it changes is gonna be what it multiplies by.
so then it'll be 15 times 4 plus.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll go through these, like we'll go through a bunch of them, and we're just gonna practice kind of ramping it up. All right. So we're gonna go into your books. We're gonna be in your workbooks. But we're gonna have those dry erase pattern things pop up at least a couple of times a week. And it should be page 33. All right. So page 33. And this problem's written there.
That's the same one?
As on page 33. It is in your workbook's page 33, and it gives you a lot of space. But I hear a bunch of you read through, and I'm okay with that. Read through. All right. So we're going to start out with the first half of this. You want to buy a new pair of shoes. When looking around online, you found a coupon for $10 off a pair of shoes. Careful. Please don't spill stuff. When you arrive at the store, they have a sale of 15% off any pair of shoes. But you cannot do both. You can't do both the coupon and the percent off. You have to pick one. We want to know, when we do the math, to decide which one is better. It was the same. Okay, that is too much highlight. We're going to fix that. You do the math. The discount was the same. There we go. We want to know how much was the pair of shoes. So we know a $10 off discount is going to cost the exact same as 15% off. We want to know what they're going to cost. What is their normal retail box price? Take like 3 minutes and see what you guys can figure out. Try a thing. We'll talk it through. But I want you to try and think. See what you guys come up with. This is stuff you do in real life. We do $10 off coupons. We do 15% off coupons. And we want to be able to make sure that the register's calculated, right? We're not going off fake. With cents. And then I'm going to have you zip for a minute. What's that?
I'll just pay it on my laptop.
What? Grab the board, I didn't spray.
All right. What is your instinct on what to do here? Yeah. Watch your rounding, but yeah.
Well, it,
Eh.
I going.
All right. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to wind up with equations. We've been living with expressions throughout the whole last chapter, which just means they didn't have an equal sign. So now we're going to have two things with an equal sign in between, and we're going to be doing a lot of solving. So we know that we had $10 off the cost of some pair of shoes. How can I write that as an expression?
X minus 2.
X minus 10. Absolutely fine. We do not know the cost of the pair of shoes. But I know I have a $10 off coupon. I can take the cost of shoes and then subtract 10. How do we do 15% off a pair of shoes? 0.15 times X, right? But does this mean we're paying what's left over after a 15% tax or 15% off? Or is that my discount? That's the discount. So what do I need to do with that? Subtract it from my total. So I'm going to scooch it over a little bit. What is my total? That's an excellent question. Well, we did 0.15 times X, right? Isn't X the cost of the shoes? So we're going to take the 0.15 away from an X, the cost of the shoes, and we're going to subtract our discount, right? You see what that is? We're working on setting things up. Yes, we will simplify. So I know we do the math, and the discount is the same. So what do I know about these two pieces? They're the same. They're equal each other. They are equivalent expressions. This is what we want to solve. So, lots of options on how to go through this. Usually what we start with is simplifying. I have two x's on this side. How many x's is this piece? It doesn't have a number. What does it mean? 1x. So if I have 1x and I'm taking away 0.15, use our calculators. How much do we have left? 0.85, 0.85. And on this side, I still have x minus 10. So it's icky and gross, but we can do this. We've got calculators. If you genuinely hate decimals with a fiery passion, you can always multiply by 10 or 100 to get rid of your decimals. If you multiply absolutely everything by 100, I won't have any more decimals, but I will have some very large numbers. So we either got to deal with decimals or real big numbers. And I do not care how you do it. So what do we do next to solve this? Add 10 to both sides? That's fine. I'm going to give us some more space down here. There are so many different paths through this. I'm just hitting add 10 because that's what I heard first and loudest. So if I add 10 to both sides, we have x equals 0.85x plus 10. I cannot combine them together because that's an x and a number. Now what are we going to do? Don't divide yet. What do we need to get together? My x's. How do I get this x and this x together? Subtract what? Minus 0.85x from both sides. How many x's is this one? 1x. So now I have 1x minus 0.85x. Sorry, that's an x. I just didn't get it written there. So how many x's do we have left on the left-hand side? 0.15x equals 10. Now we divide. Divide by what? Divide by our 0.15. We divide by what's in front of my x, this guy. Because I want x equals. That's our solution, is an x equals. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. And we can just type these things in the calculator. Like, we do not have to do this by hand. So how much is it? 66.67. How did we get from this in the calculator to 66.67? How did we know where to round? What are we talking about? Money. Money has how many decimal places? 2. So we look at this space here. This 6 makes this guy go up. If the number after where we're rounding is 5 or bigger, it pushes it up. So our final answer is going to be that these shoes originally cost that was not as quiet as you thought it was. $66.67. Thank you. Awesome.
Is that for me?
Nope. You have to go again. Okay. So these shoes originally cost $66.67. This is our final answer right there. Questions on what we did there, or how we did there, or why we did there? So I'm going to have 2 more questions for you on this page.
Register would automatically add it up to the total up for us.
What if the registers crash because we have another gigantic Microsoft hack and all the world's computers shut down again?
Well, then it looks like I'm not paying for it.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 more questions using this number. So our shoes originally cost our $66.67. So I'm adding these on. These are not written in your book. Using the cost of shoes after discount, how much would you be spending out of pocket with a sales tax of 7%?
I forgot to put it in back.
So using the cost of shoes, we're taking one of the discounts, and then we're going to add tax.
It's not on this add-on.
I put this on there because we could do more with this to practice these percents, because they don't really give us the percent questions again very much. So our shoes were originally, we just did this, $66.67. Whoop. How much were the shoes after we used our discount?
$56.67.
Yeah. Does it matter which discount we use? No, because those discounts were the same. So it's going to be easier, in my eyes, to take the $10 off, because I can do that in my head. So after discount, we were at $56.67. So see if you guys can figure out how to add in the sales tax. Try that. Sales tax of 7%. What's going on with your sales tax? How's the sales tax going?
He said it's racist.
To be fair, it's flat rate across everyone in the state, so I can't really play that card there. Oh, that's an excellent question. What is the answer?
What's the answer?
Yeah, I think Francis is.
Make sure you're not adding 7 cents of tax. It's 7% of tax.
I can do this on my calculator. Phone.
56 plus what?
I said points and so.
You added 7 cents of tax, not 7% tax. How do we write?
An extra $3.96.
How did you figure that out?
Well, I did it in the calculator and I did it on here.
So-
I put it in for me. It's 0.07 multiplied by the 56.67.
0.07, and we have to multiply that against what we paid, our 56.67. And that we add to the 56.67. If you don't do the multiplication part and you just add in the 0.7, you are just adding in 7 cents of tax. That's just 7 cents.
Times it by 1.07.
Yes, well, that's just because that's the way it was being said out here. You can also do this as combining these together so we don't have to deal with the 56.67 twice. 1.07, because I have a whole 56.7, and then I have 0.07 of 56.67. Oh. So total, how much are we spending on these shoes according to the register? $60.64. Watch your rounding.
You should promote him to higher first.
One more of these. We're practicing this again. And this one you do actually have to do in real life because they very rarely calculate this for you correctly at restaurants. So when you go to a restaurant, you're expected to tip your server because they make $2.13 per minimum wage. So literally below minimum wage. So they count on your tips. So, what's up? This is that I have one whole one of these, and then I have 0.07 of these. So I have 1 and 0.07. You can always do it like this where you have them separate, or you can write it this. I was just hearing it said both ways. What's up, Ava? Did you have a question? You? Yeah. Okay. All right. So looking at the bottom one here, this is the last one I'm gonna make you guys do with me today. So you're planning to give the associate who is helping you a tip, a 15% tip, because we are feeling nice and generous.
I'm not.
Well, if you decide to ever go to a restaurant, you're gonna need to know how to calculate it because the ones that they pre-calculate at the bottom of the receipts are often wrong. So, just saying, they calculate them in very strange places of the equation. Like, it's a whole lot of weird. So, I want you to try and figure out what the tip would be and what your total will be. If you give a 15% tip, and we're going to calculate our tip after taxes. We are tipping on the tax.
I thought we were buying shoes.
We are buying shoes, but they were a particularly helpful associate. Bougie shoes. They keep all the shoes in the back. They have to do the fetching thing where they have to go get the size from the back. They were super duper helpful, super duper nice. I don't know, maybe you're flirting with them. Who knows? Giving them a tip. Mostly I want us to practice this again because this is a place where we struggle sometimes. So I want you guys to tell me how much the tip will be and what your new total is.
Total is 69.73, I think.
Did the same thing, bro.
Watch your rounding though. Our new total, because I'm with you for the most part. Our new total is going to be $69.74.
I was 1 cent off.
I know, watch your rounding.
I mean, nobody's gonna be mad over 1 cent.
To be fair, the banks will be super mad over 1 cent.
Okay.
And they will charge you a $30 overdraft fee over a penny. And then it's $30 every day until you repay it. So we don't play bad games with pennies. I know pennies don't mean much to us, but to banks they mean a lot, and they're very petty about it.
If they let me have 1 penny off and they had to do that to everybody, they're gonna pay.
And that's a ton of money if they let everybody get wiggle room on a penny. Yes, dear.
So they're paying, the tip is $9.10.
Yep. Yeah, so our tip will be, and you can either do it from mid-process where we found our 0.15 of our 60.64. That is an absolutely valid way to find it, is just to do our 0.15 of the total. Or for those of you guys that did this in one step where we went from here to here, you can subtract these two. It should give you the exact same value. Otherwise, we did something wonky. So our tip should be about $9.10. I always encourage you guys to double check the things that they give you at the bottom of the check when they, like if you're at a restaurant, because a lot of times they will either calculate a pre-tax or they'll calculate a pre-discount or in like some bizarre combination therein. So it's always a good idea to double check the tip amount. Especially if any of you guys work as servers, make sure that the thing calculates it all right. What's that? Yeah.
No.
All right. So this chapter has its like card sorting activity significantly earlier into the chapter than the last one did. So what we're gonna do for this last 10 minutes is you remember the thing that I did to pick your partners?
Oh, no.
We're gonna do another one of them.
My partner already left.
It's a different one.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Not the one, not the thing you did with partners. The pre-thing that I did to pick it. The little quiz that I don't grade for correctness, but you do your best on because you get a partner who matches your energy.
We're doing another quiz?
Doing another one of these things. So I'm gonna hand it out. This is, again, I hand these out before we talk through it. It's not the exact same one. It's the new one you check. Comes in the best. But I want you guys to have, you just want to do like 10 minutes on this anyway, because we're going to stay in this period. So you guys have the whole rest of the time to finish this up. Give me the best you can. Remember, I do not grade these
You know what that is?
for correctness. I grade these to see how your brain goes. And you get matched with a partner who matches your guy. So if you leave it blank, your partner also has left it blank.
Oh.
And that means I pick your partner. I mean, I pick your partner anyway, but and then I get like free reign if you leave it blank. Then you get partner with someone else who left it blank. You get to do stuff. Oh, see, I
So
know.
what if they're not as smart as you?
That's why I encourage you to do your best. All right, Micah.
Ashley.
I like my donation.
Ashley.
Thank you.
Oh, your name isn't Ashley Cole? Oh, my bad. Who's Ashley? One person.
It's cute. All right, this is not a working together thing.
Familiar with like
Give me something.